Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're uncovering the brutal truth about why freelancers are getting totally ignored on platforms like Upwork. Look, if you've ever spent hours, literally hours, crafting the perfect pitch, only to send it out into the digital void and hear absolutely nothing back, well, you're in exactly the right place. We aren't just guessing about what works today. We actually have the hard data. We're going to see exactly what to avoid and, more importantly, the precise formula to actually get hired.
Now, the first thing that really jumps out here is the sheer volume, 5,552. That is the staggering number of proposals that just one single high-volume client has actively rejected. Just pause and think about that for a second. That represents thousands of freelancers, thousands of hours of effort, and thousands of completely missed opportunities. It's honestly a mountain of rejection.
And seeing a massive number like that naturally begs the million-dollar question we're answering today. What exactly is sending thousands of pitches straight into the trash bin? I mean, is it a lack of skill? Is it pricing? Or is it something much simpler, hiding right there in the very first impression? Well, we have the client's direct notes, and the reasons are incredibly consistent. We're actually going to conduct a full forensic audit of these failures, straight from the client's perspective.
All right, let's kick off this 5,000-plus proposal audit. We're starting with the ultimate don'ts, the absolute deal breakers that guarantee your proposal gets skipped.
And that brings us to our first major trap, AI laziness. This is an absolute instant rejection.
This whole bucket of failure is basically about freelancers outsourcing their brains to robots. The source material doesn't mince words here at all. The client actively calls out the sheer laziness of proposals generated with a single, unedited prompt, calling it stupid AI generation. The client explicitly notes that most of these proposals look like somebody just typed "create job respond" into ChatGPT and copy-pasted whatever spat out. It's instantly detected. And worse, it just shows the client that you literally didn't care enough to put in the actual work.
So, what are the dead giveaways? Well, this perfectly illustrates the red flags. Believe it or not, some applicants actually forget to remove the leftover ChatGPT formatting. I mean, that is an instant rejection for lack of effort. Then you've got those massive, huge paragraphs in the screening questions. The client complains that these read like entire books, but they contain absolutely minimum valuable information about the actual questions being asked. And finally, the emojis. Oh, the emojis. If you're spamming those specific bullet point emojis, you know the ones, the paper clips, the check marks, the blue diamonds. That absolutely screams ChatGPT. It triggers immediate detection.
Moving on to our next major pitfall, stop writing a book. Keep it concise, folks. This mistake usually happens when an applicant makes the entire proposal about themselves. Here's the thing you have to remember. High-volume clients are scanning. They are not reading. They instantly reject huge blocks of text with too many paragraphs and way too many words. As the client puts it perfectly right here, clients don't like to read a book here. Your time is valuable, sure, but remember, to a client, their time is quite literally money. If it takes them 5 minutes just to figure out what you're trying to say, you've already lost the job.
Just notice the stark difference between these two approaches. On the one side, we have what the client calls a water pitch. It's just totally watered down with useless filler. It starts with a super generic, "Hello, I am happy to apply on this job," followed by this completely templated description of the freelancer, and then finishes with a vague, "I did the same project recently, blah, blah, blah." The client literally says a bad first paragraph like this guarantees your proposal will never even be opened. But then look at the other side. A winning, focused pitch centers entirely on the client's actual request. Zero fluff.
And you know what else? Dumping excessive information about your experience actually hurts your chances. It distracts from the specific task at hand. The client notes that freelancers absolutely love to brag. They'll say things like, "I have 1,000 certifications," or they'll just drop endless links like, "Here are 1,000 links, lol." It's overwhelming, and frankly, it comes across as arrogant. But the worst part, while they're so busy bragging, they're completely failing to focus on the job itself, and they're failing to ask important questions about the actual task the client needs solved.
To really visualize what you're up against, take a look at this breakdown. 9 out of 10 freelancers are out there pitching the exact phrase, "exact same project finished recently." But here's the kicker. They're describing case studies that aren't actually relevant to the client at all. That means you are instantly lost in a sea of sameness. If your case study isn't laser-focused on their specific problem, you just blend into that 90% gray area. You simply will not be in their focus.
Okay, enough about what ruins your chances. Let's get to the good stuff. Here is the winning proposal formula and how to actually get hired. So let's pivot to the actionable blueprint.
Surprisingly, one of the absolute easiest hacks to stand out is incredibly simple. Just use bold text. Very few freelancers actually realize you can use bold text in Upwork proposals now. The client specifically points out that because so few people know about this, the ones who do use it instantly stand alone from the unformatted masses. It breaks up the text, it makes everything super scannable, and it draws the eye right to your most important points.
Let's actually walk through the ideal flow of a winning proposal, based directly on what made this client actually respond. Step 1, write a short, straightforward, catchy first paragraph. And ideally, use that bold formatting we just talked about. Step 2, attach a Loom video or a demo. The client actually calls this ideal, especially if you link it right there in the first paragraph. Step 3, show your actual approach. Tell them exactly how you intend to solve their specific task. Step 4, ask short, important questions about the job to show you're actively engaged. And finally, Step 5, never ever forget a clear call to action at the end. Keep it simple. Something like, let's book a call, or are you available tomorrow for a quick chat?
The entire philosophy of outsmarting the competition really boils down to a very simple mantra. Think and do differently than the other 5,000 applicants. Don't sound like an AI. Don't write a novel. Be direct, be relevant, and be human. And as a quick bonus here, the source material actually mentions a tool called universesleep.com. The author created this to help send proposals automatically, but presumably in a way that avoids all these massive pitfalls we've just been discussing.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to ask yourself the hard question. Armed with the knowledge of exactly why over 5,000 proposals ended up in the trash, are you going to keep acting like the 90% who just rely on robotic templates and endless bragging? Or are you finally ready to think differently, stand out, and actually get hired? The choice is entirely up to you. Take this formula, apply it to your very next pitch, and see what happens.